Hi everyone, today we will be doing an example session on the topic cell. Right, we have studied the structure of the cell, we have studied the parts of the cell, the various parts that are inside the cell, plant and animal cells, and now we will do some questions. So our first question is, which of the following is responsible for providing energy to the cell? Alright, which of the following is responsible for energy? Alright, we studied various organelles, what they provide to the cell, what function do they have. Alright, now we are asking for energy. So out of these, nucleus, mitochondria, Golgi complex, ribosomes, correct answer is B, mitochondria. Which organelle is involved in the synthesis of proteins? Alright, so synthesis of protein, what was synthesis of proteins? Anything that the cell eats in the form of protein, it has to be broken down into simpler forms so that the cell can absorb it and produce energy. So is it nucleus? No. Is it mitochondria? No. Is it endoplasmic reticulum? Yes. ER. There were two types of endoplasmic reticulum, rough ER and smooth ER. What was the difference? Rough ER had ribosomes on its surface. Smooth ER, no ribosomes. Alright. Which organelle is responsible for the packaging and transport of cellular materials? Packaging and transport. Now consider a delivery service. Someone that packs something and transports it. Alright. Are those plastids? No. Are those ribosomes? No. Is it nucleus? No. It is Golgi complex. The Golgi apparatus. What does it do? It packages materials that are to be sent inside the cell. So for example, our blood, alright, so our blood, it serves as a medium of transport. Whatever needs to be transported somewhere, it will be released in the blood. Similarly, a Golgi apparatus, what does it do? It is responsible for transporting materials within the cell. So packaging and transport of cellular materials is Golgi apparatus. Which organelle is responsible for storing genetic material in the cell? Alright, so what was genetic material? That holds the information about how the next cell should be formed. Alright, the genes. Genes. What does genes mean? It means, for example, your father and you have some similar traits. Alright, how did those traits come inside you? Alright, the facial features or the height, the weight, how your nose looks, how your eyes look, they come from your parents. How did that happen? Through genes. That was information which was sold by your cell, alright, for you, and it contains all the information about how you should grow up, how your body will be. So it directs your body. Now where are these located? Plastids? No. Mitochondria? No. Lysosomes? No. It is nucleus. Answer is D, nucleus. What is the main function of plastids in a plant cell? What is the function of plastids? Alright, we had three plastids. Alright, chromoplast, chloroplast, leucoplasts, alright, all had different features, all had different things. So what is the main function of all these? Cellular respiration, photosynthesis, protein synthesis, waste disposal. So the correct answer is photosynthesis. Alright, this is the main function of plastids in plant cells, because in plant cells, chloroplasts, alright, the one containing chlorophyll, plays a major role. Why? Because on this plastid is what the food of the plant depends. Alright, if these plastids don't exist in a plant cell, what would happen? They will not be able to survive. Okay, so what is the main function of plastids in a plant cell? Alright, the main function of all these is photosynthesis, which organelle is known as the powerhouse of the cell. Alright, you should remember this throughout your life. What was the powerhouse of the cell? That is mitochondria. In our cells as well. Alright, it is stored in the form of ATP. Alright, in all cells, and mitochondria gives us the energy. Alright, the energy. Which organelle helps in detoxifying harmful substances in a cell? Alright, detox, removing toxins, right? Removing toxins. Which organelle helps in this? Endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi complex, lysosomes, ribosomes. Correct option is A, endoplasmic reticulum, ER. It also helps in detoxing harmful substances. Alright, so if some toxin or something poisonous has come inside the cell, it will be removed by the endoplasmic reticulum. Alright, see the spelling, endoplasmic reticulum. Which organelle is responsible for the synthesis of lipids and detoxification of drugs? Alright, synthesis of lipids was fats, detoxification of drugs. So nucleus, mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, or D, lysosomes. Correct option is option C, endoplasmic reticulum. Alright, it will synthesize lipids and also detoxification of drugs. Which organelle contains digestive enzymes to break down waste materials in a cell? We have to break down the waste materials. Alright, so waste disposal. What was responsible for waste disposal? Plastids, mitochondria, Golgi complex, lysosomes. Correct option is option D, lysosomes. Alright, it contains digestive enzymes. What were enzymes? Enzymes are biologically released chemicals which will result in a particular function. So mostly enzymes are used for digestion, removal, and for example, the saliva inside your mouth is also an enzyme. Okay, so it helps in digesting food, chewing food, so digestive enzymes. Which organelle is involved in the formation of ribosomes? Alright, now there was lysosomes, here is ribosomes. R, ribosomes. Now how are ribosomes formed? Where is it formed? Nucleus, mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, or D, ribosomes. Alright, correct option is option C, ER. Now I told you what was the difference between rough and smooth ER? The presence of ribosomes. And where we get ribosomes? On the rough endoplasmic reticulum. So they are formed on the rough endoplasmic reticulum. The organelle that controls all the activities of the cell is, now this is the control center. What is the control center of a human body? The brain. What is the control center of a cell? Brain of the cell. What was the brain of the cell? It was a nucleus. Nucleus controls all the working of the cell. It directs all the parts of the cell, like do this, do that. It will direct the mitochondria to give energy. It will direct the endoplasmic reticulum to synthesize the proteins. Alright, so nucleus. Which of the following is present only in plant cells and not in animal cells? Alright, we studied the difference between plant and animal cell. So this thing that we are going to talk about is present only in plant cells and not in animal cells. Correct option is option A, plastids. Alright, plastids. Why plastids? Because in animal cells there is no chlorophyll. Okay, the cells do not store any food, and there are no chromoplasts, there is no coloring, so no plastids. Plastids are absent in animal cells, in humans, in animals, but in plants it is present. Which organelle is responsible for the synthesis of carbohydrates in a plant cell? Okay, synthesis of carbohydrates. What are carbohydrates? Like we eat bananas and all. So this, like, endoplasmic reticulum was responsible for synthesis of proteins. Now plants also consume carbohydrates. Okay, so in the plant cell, what is responsible, which organelle is responsible for synthesis of carbohydrates? Correct option is option C, plastids. Okay, plastids are responsible for synthesis of carbohydrates, like leucoplasts. Okay, so plastids. Which organelle is involved in the storage and release of energy in a cell? So where is the energy stored? Where is it released in the cell? Endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi complex, mitochondria, or D, ribosomes? The correct option is option C, the mitochondria. Whenever we talk about the energy of the cell, it is produced in the mitochondria. Alright, mitochondria has its own DNA. Mitochondria also has its own DNA. Which organelle is responsible for maintaining cell shape, alright, how the cell looks, and providing support? Plastids, Golgi complex, lysosomes, endoplasmic reticulum. Correct option is option A, the plastids. Alright, and if in these options it was written cell membrane or cell wall, both these options would be correct. But if we find cell wall written, so cell wall would be the best option. Why? In plant cells, alright, because it is absent in animal cells. Cell wall is something that gives it a very structural, very hard support, alright, in plant cells. In animal cells there is only cell membrane. Out of these, the which one was involved in maintaining cell shape and providing support? It was plastids. Plant cells have a rigid cell wall made up of what? Cellulose, chitin, glycogen, keratin. The correct option is option A, cellulose. Alright, cellulose means cell wall. It is hard. Animal cells have a flexible outer covering called cell wall, cell membrane, nucleus, endoplasmic reticulum. Answer is cell membrane. So animal cells, they look like this. They have the nucleus. They only have the cell membrane. No cell wall. Okay. Which of the following is not found in both plant and animal cell? One of these is not present in both plant and animal cells. Alright, the correct option is option D, cell wall. But sorry, it is present in plant cells, not in animal cells. Alright, present in plant cells and not animal cells. Found in animal cells. It is cell wall. Cell wall is not found in animal cells. Which organelle is responsible for the synthesis of proteins in a cell? Like I told you, synthesis of proteins. Alright, over here it is ribosomes, because ribosomes are present on the endoplasmic reticulum. And these help in synthesis of proteins. Which of the following is a characteristic feature of plant cells? Centrioles, chloroplasts, nucleolus, vacuoles. So which one is a characteristic feature of plant cells? Okay, chloroplasts. Chloroplast means chlorophyll. Chlorophyll means plant. Okay. Which organelle is involved in the production of ribosomes in a cell? It is endoplasmic reticulum. The process by which a cell takes in substances from its surroundings is called what? Okay, so if this is a cell, here is some food item, okay, there is this nucleus inside it. Cell wants to get this. How will it happen? Okay, the correct option is option D, endocytosis. Okay, it will move closer to the food. This food will come over here and it will come inside the cell wall or the cell membrane because it is semi-permeable. Means it allows certain objects to pass through and you will get this food. The process by which cell expels waste materials out of the cell is called what? So like taking out toxins, waste materials should be released. Alright, so taking in of food was endocytosis. Now throwing out waste material should be what? Option D, exocytosis. So endo means inside, exo means out. We exhale, we breathe out. Inhale, endo. Okay. Which of the following is responsible for the synthesis of lipids in a cell? What was lipids? Lipids were fats. Correct option is option C. Lipids were also synthesized by endoplasmic reticulum. Which organelle is responsible for the formation of spindle fibers during cell division? Okay, so this organ of the cell, this part of the cell is responsible for making spindle fibers. Spindle fibers are something that are made during cell division. Okay, if this was a cell, now it is dividing into two cells. Okay, it is dividing, so there will be spindle fibers formed. Now which of these organelles are used for that? Correct option is option A, the nucleus. Nucleus is what directs division. Nucleus is what helps in the formation of spindle fibers. The genetic material of a cell is found in the form of, what is genetic material? The genes, the DNA, alright, the chromosomes. Answer is A, chromosomes. Where is it found? In the nucleus. Okay, chromosomes are found in the nucleus. What are the chromosomes of a boy, a human boy? It is X, Y. Okay, and in a girl it is XX. Okay, chromosomes. These play a major role in found in the form of inside nucleus and chromosome. Okay, so which of the following is not a function of the cell membrane? Okay, cell membrane has a lot of functions. It will allow food to pass, it will allow the waste material to pass, it will allow certain things to pass. Which of the following is not a function of cell membrane? Regulating the movement of substances in and out of the cell, providing support and protection to the cell, synthesizing proteins, cell signaling and communication. The correct option is option C. Synthesizing proteins was the function of endoplasmic reticulum, not of the cell wall. Cell wall does all the other things. It will regulate the movement of substances in and out of the cell. Okay, it will say like, okay, this food can come in and this waste product can go out. Alright, it will provide a good support to the cell. Alright, it will provide good support to the cell. It will also help in cell signaling and communication. So if there are two cells, okay, and they have to combine together or they have to do anything, there has to be signal that will be through this cell membrane. Alright, So that is also important. The organelle responsible for the synthesis, modification and sorting of proteins in a cell is endoplasmic reticulum. Again, if this was transport, then it would have been Golgi complex. If this was control, it would have been nucleus, and if anything related to energy, it was mitochondria. Which organelle is involved in the breakdown of old and damaged cell components? Okay, so for example, like we have nails, okay, that is just dead skin, okay, and there are a lot of things that have become old, and in a cell they have broken down, okay, like we shed some skin, all right, the human body also sheds skin, and thus every living thing goes through breakdowns. Okay, now all the old things that were inside the cell and the damaged part, supposedly it underwent some damage from the weather conditions or anything, and now that damaged part has healed, a new one has grown, and that damaged organelle has to be disposed. So which organ or which organelle is involved in the breakdown of all these parts? Alright, so the correct option is option C, lysosomes. Lysosomes break old and damaged parts of cell. Which organelle contains the genetic information required for cell functioning? Genes, genetic, then it is easily the nucleus. Which of the following organelles is responsible for photosynthesis in plant cells? Okay, so photosynthesis in plant cell, this part is involved. Mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi complex or plastids. Correct option is D, plastids. Okay, which plastid? Chloroplast. Okay, although all the plastids, but chloroplast is the one that will help in photosynthesis. Which organelle is known as the powerhouse of the cell? This one is the powerhouse of the cell. It is mitochondria, powerhouse. Which organelle is involved in protein synthesis? Again, it is endoplasmic reticulum. What was the function of vacuoles? Vacuoles, they were large sac-like structures, always say sac-like. They store cell sap and other nutrients. Okay, cell sap. Alright, these have a very big role in plant cells and are very small or not present in animal cells. Okay, so these are vacuoles. Which organelle is responsible for packaging and transporting proteins within the cell? Again, they say transporting means Golgi complex. If you see transporting, just take Golgi. If you see energy powerhouse, mitochondria. Okay, which organelle contains digestive enzymes and helps in the breakdown of cellular waste? Breakdown of cellular waste and digestive enzymes, these are lysosomes. Okay, lysosomes. Whenever you see breakdown of waste, that is lysosomes. Ribosomes are responsible for cell division, protein synthesis, energy production, waste removal. Cell division, protein synthesis, energy production, waste removal. Ribosomes. Ribosomes are responsible for protein synthesis. Okay, where rough ER. The control center of the cell is vacuoles, ribosomes, nucleus, cell membrane. It is nucleus, control center. Like our brain is the control center, the nucleus is the control center. which of the following is a characteristic feature of plant cells but not animal cells? Alright, so this is present in plant cells but not in animal cells. Cell membrane, it is present in both. Nucleus is present in both. Ribosomes are present in both. It is vacuoles. Vacuoles are maybe very small or not present in animal cells. The outermost boundary of the cell is called what? So supposedly this is a cell. The outermost part of the cell, okay, this outermost part, it depends in plants and animals. Alright, so outermost boundary of the animal cell looks like this. It is quite circular in nature and it has a nucleus in the center. Outermost part of an animal cell is cell membrane because it does not have a cell wall. The organelle that regulates the movement of substances, regulates means it controls. So consider an entry gate security guard. Okay, what does it do? He regulates who will come in, he will secure, he will do a security check, he will let him in, he will let it go out. So movement of substances in and out of the cell is done by which organelle? It is done by cell membrane, nucleus, vacuoles, ribosome. It is cell membrane. Also remember, why is it cell membrane? Because it is semi permeable. It allows some things to pass through. Which of the following is not a function of the cell membrane? Not a function of the cell membrane. Protecting the cell from its surroundings, controlling the movement of substances into and out of the cell, providing support and structure to the cell, facilitating communication between the cells. So the correct option is option C, providing support and structure to the cell. So cell membrane is not that hard, it is not that rigid, so it does not give it a structure. Alright, in plant cells there is a structure because of the plastids and the cell wall, but in cell membrane it is a semi-permeable membrane. It is soft, it is not that hard, it does not give a strong structure. Okay, which of the following is not a fact about cells? Okay, which of the following is not a fact about cells? Cells are the basic structural and functional units of all living organisms. Cell can only reproduce through sexual reproduction. Cells can be classified into prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. Cells can carry out various specialized functions to maintain life. The correct option is option B, that they can reproduce only through sexual reproduction. No, they can also reproduce through asexual reproduction. Means it does not need a female partner or another partner to reproduce. One cell can reproduce into two on its own. This also happens in nature. So not all cells require sexual reproduction. The organelle that contains genetic material of the cell is what? Cell membrane, nucleus, vacuoles, chromosome. So the genetic material is in the chromosomes. Alright, you remember something looking like this, and there was chromosomes, and this spiral part is genes. The fluid filled sacs found in plant cells. Okay, the fluid filled sac. Whenever you hear sac like structure, you know what the answer is. Found in plant cells. They store water, cell sap, nutrients and waste materials are called C, vacuoles. These are big sac like structures in plant cells. They contain all these things. Chromosomes are composed of what? Chromosomes are composed of DNA and proteins, ribosomes and lipids, vacuoles and carbohydrates, cell membrane and nucleotides. So it contains Option A, DNA and proteins. So DNA, that is the genetic material, is in chromosomes. Okay, so that will be enough for the example session. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you.